Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your Photo News Fix. This fix is brought to you by Squarespace, my go-to when I want to quickly and easily build a website, buy a domain, and launch it in a matter of minutes.
Mount Alliance.
I've used Squarespace since before Fronos Photo ever existed and still use it today for my own personal website at jaredpolin.com. Not only is it simple, easy, and affordable to use, but if you're looking to sell your work online, Squarespace has online stores, offers Squarespace payments, so you can accept things like Apple Pay, Afterpay, and more, and even lets you invoice customers. The truth of the matter is, they make it easy to do everything from build a site, sell your work, and get paid. It's great to see Squarespace continue to evolve with the times and keep giving us more and more. To get your 14-day free trial, head on over to squarespace.com/FroKnowsPhoto. If you decide that it's for you, use the code FroKnowsPhoto at checkout to get 10% off your first order. Give it a shot. You've got nothing to lose and a whole lot to gain. First up, welcome to 2025, aka 25 freaking years since Y2K. Insane. Anyway, let's kick off the first fix of 2025 with a Canon Rumor surrounding a lens that would cannibalize sales of an existing RF lens. According to Canon Rumors, it won't be the 200 to 500 f4, which still doesn't exist and might actually never exist, but it could be something like a new 100 to 500 that would be an internal zooming lens and faster than f7.1. The current RF 100 to 500 was announced all the way back in July of 2020, and the first super telephoto RF lens that they made for the RF mount. So it wouldn't be out of the question to have an updated one sometime soon. Canon Rumors also points out some patent filings from Canon that include a 125 to 500 f5 to 6.3L, a 180 to 600 6.3L, a 200 to 600 5 to 6.3, a 200 to 700, which is odd, f5 to 7.1, a 100 to 500 5 to 6.3, and a 150 to 500 f5 to 6.3. Now, I'm sure that most of these patent filings will never see the light of the day, but if it is internal zooming, how big will it be? Now, is it possible that in 5 years they could have shrunk the process to allow for a 100 to 500 with internal zooming and a faster aperture? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, of all of these patent filings listed, which one would you prefer and why? Let me know down below. Next up, the US Senate passed a bill to make it easier to shoot photos and videos in national parks for commercial use without the need for a permit. Now, I know I've personally been there minding my own business, making a video, taking photos in a national park, when a park ranger comes up to me and asks, "What are you doing?" To which I generally replied,
"Oh, geez,
making a video or photos not for commercial use." Now, it's always been such a gray area to me about what's commercial and what's not. I'm making educational content for YouTube where I do benefit with ads or digital product sales, but I'm not outwardly selling the content for commercial use of things captured in the park. Like I said, it's a gray area. Well, last week, the Senate passed the Explore Act. According to the Free Speech Advocacy Ground Foundation, or FIRE for short, the act will no longer require photographers or videographers to get filming permits because they may be paid for the footage or images. Goes on to say, as long as filming takes place where the public is already allowed, doesn't harm or otherwise impact park resources or visitors, and involves fewer than 6 people, no permit will be necessary. So does that mean you can film an orgy in the park?
Christy.
Well, I guess with 6 people or less. Moreover, if an activity is already allowed in a national park, I don't know if orgies are allowed in a park, no permit to film is required. If the NPS has already permitted an activity, such as for a wedding, no additional permit to film will be required. It's about time, and it makes sense since we pay taxes and parks are paid for by our taxes, that we can film without having to be extorted for money or bribed for donuts by Smokey the Bear. Yeah, I'm on to you, Smokey. I see you and your evil ways.
Only
can prevent wildfires. Well, only you can prevent bribes, Bear. I'm on to you. And finally, according to Photons to Photos, Canon's R3 has better dynamic range than the new flagship R1. And guess what? I don't give a not a single. You wanna know why?
Why?
Because these DR tests are done in a lab on a bench and not out there in the real world in Kenya on safari where you'll never see the difference. These tests are so complicated. It's not one size fits all. The R3 might be better at X, but the R1 is far better at Y. There's always going to be trade-offs with speed and quality. But in the real world, it's rarely, and I mean rarely, ever going to be evident. There needs to be less talk about bench tests and more going out and actually shooting. But the problem is the people who cheer these Photons to Photos benchmarks are fan people who just want more reasons to talk shit or justify a particular brand's purchase. Yeah. At the end of the day, a good shot is a good shot is a good shot, no matter what it was taken with, even if it was a Nikon. You know, I shot Nikon for like 15 plus years. Actually, it's more like 20 plus years. Damn! Whether it has 11 stops of DR or 7, no one will ever know the difference. Now, I shot the R1 and the A1 II while on safari, and they're both amazing, regardless of how many stops of DR they each capture. We need more shooting and less pixel peeping, and not just in 2025.
Forever.
Look, I don't go back to my Nikon D2H RAW files from way back in the day and say, oh boy, the DR of this 4.1 megapixel camera was so bad. Nah, because it really wasn't. Could you kindly shut up and focus on actually creating and not testing so much?
No.
And there you have it. I guess I'm still angry in 2025. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.